Hello? Is this Always Sunny in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Do you like scary movies?
Yes, I do. And today we're going to be talking about one. My
I
name is.
sometimes like scary movies, not all the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, all of us have different opinions on scary movies. I guess I'm the horror expert in the group, even though I have not recommended a single horror movie yet.
And I was the first one, which is
Yeah, that's
Funny because
surprising.
he's the one that likes it the least.
Also, forgive me for my terrible impression. I'm kind of dry in the throat.
that's fine.
So anyway, I'm Red Drum Arts. Why don't you guys introduce yourself?
My name is Patrick.
And I'm a talking phone.
Oh my god!
All right. So I guess let's hop into some movie news. It's been a month, so we're not going to talk about all the news because there's way too much to cover.
We're only going to be talking about the stuff that interests us.
Yeah, or the stuff we remember to put, because honestly, we just kind
Or
of
the
wrote
stuff
down
that's
whatever.
probably the most important.
Anyway, childhood classic show. I think all of us grew up on it. Arthur. It has been canceled after 25 years. One of the longest running children's shows ever. Well, children's cartoons at least. So yeah, that's a shame.
Rest in peace, Arthur.
Rest in peace.
I'll be honest, I didn't watch Arthur much. In fact, I read the books more than I did watch the show, but I do have memories. I do have memories of it.
Yes. Then let's see. The Ghostbuster Afterlife trailer dropped.
You
I
mean
am not.
You mean Stranger Things season 4?
Yeah. I'm not a Ghostbusters fan, so I don't care at all.
I only like the first movie.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't even like the first movie, which is I know a really hot take, but yeah. What about you, Patrick?
I've seen Ghostbusters, but like, like there's like a few years between. There's like a big year gap between the number of times I've seen it. I do like it, but I don't really know what to say. I mean, the trailer looks interesting. I might check it out, but I don't know.
Let's see. We finally got a tiny bit of news about the Mario movie, which has been in development for a while. Sebastian Italian is reportedly going to be playing Foreman Spike from Wrecking Crew.
Well, we don't know for sure.
He's
Okay,
rumored to play Foreman Spike from Wrecking Crew.
We still don't know much about the Mario movie.
I found this news story. I don't know. I put it in there just because Mario movie, because we like Mario. The article only said that Sebastian Maniscalco. I'm sorry if I butcher his name. I don't recognize him.
Sebastian Maniscalco.
Yeah, him.
I don't know if that's pronounced either.
I don't know. According to the article, the only thing it said is that he's apparently going to be playing a character that's Mario's boss, and this led people to believe it's going to be Foreman Spike from Wrecking Crew.
Yeah, maybe.
Which I've never played Wrecking Crew, so
is this going to be a sequel to the 1993 Mario movie? Are they gonna bring back the Scapelli brothers?
I doubt it.
Let's see. Then in other video game news, Idris Elba has been casted as Knuckles in Sonic the Hedgehog 2. So that's pretty cool.
That was all over Twitter.
Yeah. Honestly, but when I first heard this news, I'm like, really? But like the more I thought about it, the more I realized, yeah, I can kind of see it.
I honestly think Idris Elba's a good actor.
I don't think it's a bad choice.
Not at all. Yeah. Not at all.
My only disappointment is this now means that Knuckles is British. We can't keep losing our icons to the Brits. All right. Scarlett Johansson sues Disney over Black Widow's simultaneous release. So yeah, Disney basically pulled scumbag move, and Scarlett's suing. Emma Stone was apparently also planning on suing, but I think that's not going to happen anymore. As apparently they made a deal for Cruella too.
I don't know. I can only imagine how Scarlett Johansson must feel, given that Shang-Chi is going to be theatrical exclusive.
Yeah, well, I think the reason Shang-Chi is theatrical exclusive is because of Scarlett Johansson. I think Disney's like, all right, we're not going to try that again.
I don't know. I know the reason that they made it simultaneous release was because they couldn't push it back any further because they needed to get the TV shows out.
Yep.
So they're just like Disney Plus.
Yep. Who knows?
Before we move on, I didn't put this in the document because I just saw this, but one more little bit of news that's kind of interesting. Have you guys heard of that new Hugh Jackman movie, Reminiscence?
No, I have not.
Heard of?
Oh.
Yes.
It's kind of like The Matrix meets Waterworld, I guess. I don't know, but the point is, I don't know. The point is that it's like a future where like it's a flooded city and people use these like Matrix-like machines to go to live back in time. But that's not the point. The point is that apparently it made history by having the worst theatrical debut for a film playing in over 3,000 theaters.
Huh.
And it opened the same weekend as Paw Patrol. So, ouch.
All right. Just two more bits of news. Any of you guys Rolling Stones fans?
Uh,
I like some of their music, but not all of it.
yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Well, their drummer Charlie Watts has passed away at age 80.
Oh my.
Yeah. So that's a real shame. I do like the Rolling Stones music quite a bit. So rest in peace, Charlie.
Rest in peace.
Our last news is the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer came out, and everyone's excited because it basically confirms there's going to be a multiverse. All the villains from the Sam Raimi movies are coming back. The villains from the Amazing Spider-Man movies are coming back, and according to set photos, yes, indeed, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are going to be returning as Spider-Man.
So this is basically a live action Spider-Verse then.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But the weird thing is that this movie also seems to be adapting the One More Day storyline from the comic books. And that's very interesting because One More Day is infamously the most hated Spider-Man story ever.
Why?
So, because it's terrible and also it really messed up.
But why?
If it's just saying it's,
I
want specifics. If you just say it's terrible, that gives me nothing.
All right, so Spider-Man's identity got revealed in Civil War, just like, the setup to this movie. Oh, his identity got revealed. And as a result of his identity getting revealed, Aunt May got killed, basically. So Spider-Man made a deal with the devil to bring Aunt May back. And what that did is basically magically got him divorced, essentially. And it was just really poorly written, really soppily handled. And also, obviously people are going to be annoyed that Spider-Man's relation with MJ basically got ended like that, incredibly stupid, especially since they've been married for like 40 years or something at that point. I don't know. They were dating that's like, it's Mary Jane, This new movie, he seems to be drawing a bit from that. What I find funny is that it kind of reminded me of Evangelion 2.0, which I know you guys haven't seen, so that's a reference for like, I don't know, hopefully
All you
someone listening
fucking
to this.
weebs out there.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess the part of the trailer that interested me the most was just the beginning because, Spider-Man having to deal with the fallout of his identity being revealed. We've never seen that in a Spider-Man movie before. I have seen all these other villains though, and I have seen the Spider-Verse, so I don't know, doesn't interest me as much. But the beginning stuff, that looks kind of cool, so.
I'll more than likely check it out. I did like Homecoming and No Way Home.
I might see it too.
Far From Home.
I'm not the biggest fan of the Sam Raimi stuff. I know Spider-Man 2 is a really good film. Part of me likes Spider-Man 1 a little bit for Willem Dafoe, and I only like Spider-Man 3 for the memes.
Spider-Man 2 is like probably my favorite live-action superhero movie. I got a couple animated stuff I'd rate higher, but Spider-Man 2 is probably my favorite live-action superhero movie. So honestly, I'm pretty sure Spider-Man 2 is one of the main reasons I even got into movies. Like, if you ask Kid Me what, like, 5 movies he watched the most, it would be Finding Nemo, The Incredibles, Cars, Spider-Man 2, and, like, Shrek 2. So, mostly animation, but the one live-action movie I watched was Spider-Man 2. Yeah.
I remember I used to watch the first Green Goblin fight from the first Spider-Man a lot when I was younger.
I also watched Spider-Man 1 a lot, but I like 2 like more than 1, so yeah. But yeah, that's it. Want to talk about the movie now?
Alright, let's do it. So, Scream was released in 1996, which is a time before we were born, believe it or not. Initially, this movie was going to be called Scary Movie, but that became something else entirely. I've never actually seen
Yeah.
the Scary Movie movies.
I think it's ironic that Scary Movie is a parody of Scream, so I wonder if they named it Scary Movie because they heard of this behind the scene fact.
Was
I've seen the
Scary
I've seen
Movie
the
directed by
fourth
the same
scary
guy?
movie. No,
No.
that was it the Wayans brothers?
I think the Duffer Brothers or something.
Well, a brother duo, but I've only seen Scary Movie 4. None of the others.
What an why?
I don't know.
Oh, it
It
is
was
done
it
by the
was
Wayans brothers. Okay,
I
my
don't,
bad.
I don't know. It was on TV once, and like my family was like, "Yeah, let's watch it."
But speaking of directors, this movie was directed by Wes Craven, who you may know as the guy behind Nightmare on Elm Street, which he also directed.
Yeah. This movie is basically a satire slasher movies, and I find it interesting because this guy is one of the granddaddies of the slasher genre. Wow, 50 gallons of fake blood were made for this movie?
Yeah,
Jesus.
that's just a fun fact
I
I found.
I can believe that, especially when it comes to the third act.
It is
Yep.
a pretty gory movie.
Oh yeah, it is. It is R-rated.
Yeah, this movie was a pretty big hit, grossing $173 million against a $14 million budget.
And it spawned 3 sequels: Scream 2, Scream 3, and Screforum.
Red, you said you
Yes.
saw Scream 2, right?
Yes, I have. I saw Scream 2 actually yesterday. It's a worthy sequel. If you liked Scream 1, definitely check it out. If you don't like Scream 1, you're not gonna like it. So, yeah.
Speaking of Scream 1, going back to that, it won Best Film in the International Horror Guild and it won Best Horror Film in the Saturn Awards.
Not
So
bad.
it was
Not bad.
kind of a big movie, and because it was a big movie, that led to a whole lot of controversy. I mean, holy shit. Where do I even
Yeah.
begin?
Oh,
So the
boy.
movie was accused of copyright crimes after two boys stabbed their mother and aunt.
Not copyright, copycat.
Yeah, copycat crimes after two boys stabbed their mother and aunt after being inspired by Scream, and a couple other cases were similar. In fact, I guess it's a good thing I saw Scream 2 because Scream 2 actually directly commentates on all the controversies that the first movie got about copycat crimes and whatnot.
Yeah, there are just to get ahead for a minute, there are a few lines in this movie that could be a little eyebrow raising. Like one line is movies don't make psychos, they make psychos more creative.
I don't see what's weird about that line. But
I don't know. It could be eyebrow raising. I don't know. There's a few lines like that.
Kind of reminds me of
Um,
the whole clown thing that happened a few years back.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, I
anyway,
remember
so this movie is a murder mystery movie. So before we talk about the plots, I guess spoiler alert because the entire point of the movie is to find out who's the killer. So you don't want to get spoiled on who that is. So if you haven't seen the movie and you're interested in it, I guess turn this off. Actually, in case you want to know what our thoughts was, I like the movie quite a bit. It's one of my favorite horror movies ever. What about you guys? Just like your brief thoughts.
Yeah, I
for
would
the
agree.
non-spoiler section.
I don't watch that many horror movies, but I will say this is probably one of the better ones that I've seen.
Yeah, I would agree with Lugia on that.
Yeah. If you're not a fan of horror movies, you'll still probably like it because it's
It's more of
you'll
a
enjoy the
parody.
comedy. You'll enjoy the comedy and then the mystery elements. And if you're a huge fan of horror movies, you'll also like it because all the satire stuff. There are lots of details that you'll notice that maybe other people won't. Pretty much anyone can watch this and have a good time, in my opinion. But yeah, so I guess going with the plot. Basically, the movie's cold open is someone gets a phone call and it slowly turns it starts playful and then gets a lot more sinister, and then ultimately the person on the other end of the phone kills the lady who got the phone call, and that sort of kicks off the movie. It's actually a iconic scene. It's been parodied many times. So who knows? Maybe if you watch it, might feel a bit familiar. But yeah. And then after that, basically the police investigation starts, and basically just goes off like honestly kind of structurally similar to Nightmare on Elm Street, where people are trying to figure out what's going on, and then occasionally the killer will pop up. And then this movie is very self-aware of the tropes of the slasher genre and basically poke fun at it, or the characters will try examining this events through the lens of how a person would view a slasher movie.
They even name drop a couple horror films.
Yeah, including Nightmare on Elm Street. So, you know, director's kind of patting himself on the back there.
Yeah, it's noteworthy for being one of the first horror movies, I believe, to have the characters directly acknowledge horror movies.
Yep. This movie really works as like a realistic sort of horror movie because I feel like if people in real life ended up inside like a horror movie scenario, they'd 100% immediately be like, oh, so this is like, you know, Friday the 13th, you know, Halloween, you know.
Yeah, like they
So-
say lines like, "Well, if this was a scary movie, I'd be the prime suspect."
Yeah. It's the teenage characters actually written incredibly well. I feel like I feel like, you know, they're written like actual, you know, decent people, and the main character, who's played by Nev Campbell, Sidney Prescott, great job there. Very fun character. So again, second time for spoiler alert. I'm now going to reveal the twist, but so what did you guys actually think of the twist? The killer.
Well, I didn't see it coming the first time I watched the movie, but the second time, which was for this podcast, the movie hinted at it so subtly. I'm like, how the fuck did I not even notice this?
First time around, I did suspect the boyfriend, but when they revealed it was two people, I was like, ah, that feels so obvious. But like, how did I not notice that? And you know, then it was Matthew Lillard, and I was like, oh. And then I was like, wait a second.
You'd think
This
it would
movie
be
is
the
about-
boyfriend, because the movie does lead you down that path, but you wouldn't expect the other guy.
Yeah. Although, once it was revealed to be Matthew Lillard, all I could think of was, wait, so this is a mystery movie, and I'm like, oh my god, this is just an episode of Scooby Doo, except Shaggy is the criminal.
Like zoinks.
Like zoink, Scoob! I just killed a couple people. This is just like Halloween.
We're gonna get out of here and get ready for the sequel because let's face it, nowadays you gotta have a sequel.
So the killers are
man.
Shaggy and Fred.
Yeah. Also, what I do find an interesting detail is I like how, because the Scream mask, everyone's iconic. It's like, oh, it's from the movie Scream, but the Scream mask actually did exist before. You could just buy it at a regular Party City. So I thought that was clever. It was like, oh yeah, so if a real life, you know, killer did it, he probably would just go to, you know, a costume store and just buy
'Cause
a
why would
random
you
mask.
why would you make your own?
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, why would you buy a William Shatner mask and then pluck all the hair out and then spray paint it white? You know, that'd be a very odd thing to do. Okay.
Well, that's also smart for saving money on the budget.
Because if it's just a regular mask you buy at a store, it could be anybody.
Yeah. Very well written, very sharp. The filmmaking I thought was pretty good. You know, very good suspense there. Lots of
beginning
great
too,
moments of tension.
I felt that was really well done, even if it was
Yeah.
just supposed to set up like how these events are supposed to transpire for like all of these killings.
Well, every horror movie has like a
Well,
cold
yeah.
open.
But I feel like
Every-
this is one of the horror movies that does it the best.
Yeah, yeah.
I agree. The opening
Um,
was very attention grabbing. It wastes no time, jumps right into it. Though this is a nitpick. It honestly frustrated me that Casey just left the stove on. Like she was so close to turning it off, but then like the phone rang and she ran.
She was cooking more
Yeah.
than popcorn, if you know what I mean. Hey, hey!
And I'm just
Yeah.
like, no, turn the stove off. It's a fire hazard.
I thought it was pretty funny how clumsy the killer was. He kept on like tripping over himself.
Oh
and
my
stuff.
god, I got such a good laugh every time like the door slammed in his face or you get pushed against a wall. Particularly the moment when Tatum slams the freezer door in his face, he lets out a oh.
That
It
is
just-
supposed
it
to
just
give a
gets
more
me.
human element to the killer, but at the same time, that also makes it more scary because it's a person.
Yeah.
I mean, bad
um,
person.
Yeah. This movie is incredibly quotable. I don't know. What are some of your favorite lines?
My favorite line is, "By all accounts, I should be dead, but I'm a virgin."
Yeah.
Uh,
I also love the scene when Randy's watching TV and he's saying, "Jamie, turn around, right behind you."
Yeah, when he's
and
just
the
in the
door
middle
is
of
right
that.
behind
Stupor.
him.
They acknowledge, yeah, it's Jamie
Yeah.
Kennedy. Lugia, do you have anything to say? I know we're
Uh,
kind of jumping all over the place, but I don't know.
we already said the cinematography was good.
I don't know. What do you think of the social commentary? I guess. Oh wait, no. Here's a obvious one. What did you think of Gail Weathers?
I got a kick out of her getting the shit beat out of her by Sydney in that one
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah, like let's actually discuss all the main characters. So there's Nev Campbell, who plays Sidney Prescott, who is the main character, and then Courtney Cox, who plays Gail Weathers, a reporter. So Nev's whole deal is that her mother was killed, and she falsely accused someone of it because she saw it, and that later ties in because she was at her mom was killed by the killer in this movie, basically. The her boyfriend, and Gail basically kind of somewhat ruined her life a bit. So there's some interesting dynamics there. Then you got Deputy Dewey Riley, who's like I guess he's the deputy, he's the cop that kind of investigates this stuff. And you got
He's like a lovable doofus in a way.
Yeah,
I've
And you got
noticed
like-
though
he's
the
like-
movie
he's like, you
kind of
gotta-
wants to
you
make
gotta
you
take me
think that he's
seriously.
the killer,
yeah,
which I thought was
with,
interesting.
yeah.
Because by the point where Billy, the boyfriend, like gets released, you're supposed to think, oh wait, maybe he isn't the killer. So then who could it be?
yeah. You got Henry Winkler there popping up as like the principal for a brief moment. I just want to mention that Henry Winkler plays the principal, the Fonz. Honestly, pretty stacked cast because you got Well, I was about to say Nev Campbell, but everyone knows Nev Campbell does a scream. So, but you got Courtney Cox, David Arquette,
Rose
um,
McGowan, Jamie Kennedy.
Matthew Lillard, Drew Barrymore. She's the
Oh,
girl
yeah.
from the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, cast did a really great job. Characters are pretty memorable, more memorable than I feel most slasher movies are. Because usually for slasher movies, you just really remember the Scream Queen, the main character. But here, I'm like, you remember like a lot of people.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of
Especially the villains, because holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I thought Gail's character was really interesting because she's like, I guess every character that kind of had this thing where because it's a murder mystery, everyone kind of has like something detestable about them, something that make you suspect them or something that makes you not like them, but they're also like likable for the most part. So every character is like, it's just inherently every character is complex just because like how the movie is set up.
They all play an integral role in the story, and that's what makes them have
Yeah,
a
this is-
personality
it-
worth a damn.
This is like
That's
an-
what makes
this
them
isn't-
characters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As opposed to just, victims.
Yeah, it's an airtight script. It's
Except when
got,
they are.
Yeah, so it's,
Yeah, but I mean even then, like it serves a point, and they're only in it for like a minute.
So yeah, the script was airtight. It was incredibly well paced. I found everything
I
except
will
like,
say,
the ending was a bit abrupt, maybe.
yeah, I agree. There was no closure on the main characters. The last shot in the movie is Gail getting ready for her report.
Yep.
And that's it.
And that was just like seconds after
Yeah, like
Sydney kills her boyfriend.
yeah, like the father doesn't get untied or anything. And, like they don't ask, "Are you okay?" or anything. Nothing like that.
I guess
It's
that's all
just-
supposed to be implied. Because the
So I guess
point was more or less
overall-
just getting revenge on a year of torment than like trying to rescue her father.
I know, but still.
All right then. Overall, I'd give it a 9 out of 10.
I would also give it a 9 out of 10. It can be dated in a few areas. I feel like a lot of the movie references can age this film, but I was still pleasantly surprised on how well this hold up from a narrative standpoint.
Yeah, I'm impressed how much I enjoyed this. It's not one of my personal favorites, but I do think that the self-aware approach to the horror movie genre, I do think that does make it a pretty fun watch.
And
Yeah.
I was surprised how invested I was after the second viewing too, since I already knew the twist going in.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
Kind of like
I watched
Memento, where you
both
notice
Scream
things the second time.
Yeah, I watched
Yeah.
it a second time as well. It was still really fun.
Yeah, that's a sign of a good mystery movie. If it can hold up on rewatch, it's a great mystery movie.
Mhm.
Yeah, ranking wise, honestly, I like it about as much as Jaws. I put it like the same place I put Jaws from last week.
I think I put it slightly below Jaws. I don't entirely remember. It's up there though.
You say
Yeah.
last week, but it's been almost a month.
It has.
Yeah, yeah, it has. But I mean, to be fair, we just released a Jaws episode today, so
Whatever.
it could be a week for the viewers. But yeah.
Um,
Uh,
I-
so I'm the only one that saw Scream 2, right?
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. Just briefly there. I'm not gonna give spoilers because of that, but It's also pretty solid mystery. I'd say overall the movie isn't quite as tight as the first one. It's a bit some parts are a bit more forced, but overall it's pretty good. Still got the great direction. Characters are great. Characters actually developed from the first one. It's not like just a reset of the first one. It's an actual continuation. It's a proper sequel.
So they use the
And
same cast?
the survivors. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's also new characters,
Okay.
but it takes place on a college campus this time instead of high school.
Huh.
And yeah, you have returning characters, and yeah. So one detail I want to mention is that whatchamacallit, Sarah Michelle Gellar's in the movie. So I just thought, oh, it's funny, first movie had Shaggy, this movie has Daphne. So maybe all the movies have a Scooby-Doo character in it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe in Scream 5 there'll be a dog.
Yes, a talking dog. Oh, Raggy.
Do you like
yeah.
horror movies? No, that
Good
was a terrible.
movie.
That was a terrible Scooby-Doo impression.
Yeah, it's a good movie, and honestly, I don't know if I want to watch Scream 3 or 4. I've heard Scream 4 was good, but Scream 2 is honestly
it's Scroforum.
yeah,
It's
but
Scroforum.
Scream 2 is like such a it's a good ending. It's kind of like Terminator 1 and 2, where like it just feels like, oh, you can just end it as Scream 2. Scream 2 kind of just wrapped up any possible loose ends or questions you could have. So yeah.
But
You
the
know,
question
Hollywood
is now,
stuff-
what does
Hollywood-
Scream 3 do to fuck it up?
Who knows? I guess I'll find out. Sometime
You know,
in the future.
Hollywood, duologies are a thing. You can just stop after one sequel.
But
There's no
trilogies
harm.
are more iconic, damn it!
I know,
It's
and
not
they do
even
make
trilogy.
more money. But
Yeah.
it's all about the money.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Scream is like the Shrek trilogy, where people just pretend the second one didn't happen, but the fourth one actually turned
You
out
mean
to be
the third
alright.
one?
Yes, the third one. Christ, Shrek 2 is the best one. I apologize, Shrek. For Lord forgive me. Shrek forgive me. All right, so it's just some recommendations if you like Scream. Wes Craven made a movie called New Nightmare. It's a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, but it's also incredibly meta. Some people call it the prototype to Scream because it does similar meta commentary. Also, watch Halloween because it's the movie that most directly is inspired by Scream. That and Nightmare on Elm Street. Those are the two movies most similar to Scream. I'd also recommend Cabin in the Woods because it takes a very similar, incredibly meta approach. It's just it decides to parody the more Friday the 13th and Evil Dead side of horror rather than the slasher movie type of horror. I mean, granted, Jason is a slasher movie, but you know what I mean. I'd also recommend Knives Out because it's a similar tongue-in-cheek sort of murder mystery movie. It's like a parody of murder mystery
Well,
movies
that
while
one's
also
like
being a good
less
one.
horror, more mystery.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know, but I want to lean more to the mystery thing. Also, watch I Know What You Did Last Summer. Came out around the same time as Scream, and it was also a huge horror success. It's apparently less good than Scream, but same era, same vibes. And I also put down Jennifer's Body because apparently it's another like satire slasher thing. I have not seen it though, so I cannot recommend it. I heard good things about it. All right. Anything else?
Not really. Just Scream is
That's
good.
my recommendation.
Really
All
good.
right. So I'm going to give you guys options. But before I'm going to ask a simple question. Do you guys want to see a triple feature? I'm just curious.
It depends on what it is,
Okay,
because
I
that is
have
also a very
backup
huge
options.
time investment.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready for a triple threat.
All right. I will mention all three movies are under 2 hours long. Okay, let me just tell you what the options are. So I got suggestions for triple feature, double feature, and just single one off if you want.
Let's see what they
For
are.
For the
Yeah.
triple feature, I was thinking of Perfect Blue, The Red Shoes, and Black Swan.
Okay.
Mostly because Perfect Blue is one of my favorite movies ever, and Black Swan is an incredibly popular movie directly inspired by Perfect Blue and The Red Shoes. Perfect Blue is a tight 90 minutes, and Black Swan and Red Shoes are about 2 hours each. A little under, yeah, about 2 hours each, yeah. So, yep.
What
Then
else
the
you
other
got?
option was another anime live action pairing with The Matrix and Ghost in the Shell. So I was thinking,
That one I'm kind of interested in. I've never seen Ghost
Yeah,
in the
me
Shell.
too.
a lot of thematic
Neither
things
have I.
there. Then I was thinking, getting away from the anime and more thriller angle, two high school satirical comedies, Election, and Rushmore by Wes Anderson. Oh yeah, I should mention the directors. Perfect Blue was Satoshi Kon, Black Swan, Darren Aronofsky, The Matrix, The Wachowskis, Ghost in the Shell, Mamoru Oshii, Election, Alexander Payne, Rushmore, Wes Anderson, all great directors.
And what are your what's your last choice?
Either Blue Velvet or Ninja Scroll. Blue Velvet is David Lynch, and Ninja Scroll is just an anime action movie from the 90s.
I'm kind of leaning
Honestly-
towards Matrix and Ghost in the Shell.
So am I.
Yeah,
So
I can tell from your guys' reaction.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, the
Um,
Matrix and Ghost in the Shell as the double feature for
All right.
next.
That should be cool. That should be cool.
Yes.
Close us out.
I don't know how to close this
So-
out. What do I
Think
say?
of something. I don't know what the Scream quote. He's right behind
Hey,
you.
wait,
now.
wait, guys.
What?
Scream ended abruptly, so why don't we just end this abruptly and then
Good idea.
okay, and just cut there, like just